Well, good morning. Today is Tuesday, April 21st. It is our 22nd day of distance learning, and I'm in my backyard. My neighbors are in their backyard, so you're going to hear the dogs bark at them a lot. My apologies. I wanted you to start out here so that you could see the garden that we started last Monday. I've been telling you guys to water them, and yesterday I showed you, and yesterday we had 4 squash plants. Well, the excitement for me is today we have 8 squash plants. In one day, we've gotten more plants popping up, so I really wanted to show you this. I know it's hard to see, but here's one plant, 2, 3, this one's just coming out, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's one that's just coming out of the ground now, 8. And then our yellow tomato plants are popping up all over the place even more. I'm going to take a moment to water them. Remember I said the first couple weeks you should water them really well because those seeds are germinating, they're developing roots, and they really need a lot of water for all the hard work they're doing. Okay, we're going to go inside and start our day. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started on our regular routine, I'm hoping we have some new watchers to the video. I started this March 16th, the first day we were actually out of school, and I've done a 20 to 30 minute video every school day since. So there's been a lot that's already been covered. Parents, this is really for you. This is my kitchen, and I keep a running list of the things that I've done so far in my videos. Please feel free to check out the older videos. There's some really good stuff in there. You can always contact me at my website, at my email address. This is mine. I'm not a district employee, so I don't have a pylusd.org email, but you can contact me through this. Every day I have listed a different website that you can go to that is either geared toward preschoolers or has some really good preschool content in it, from Scholastic all the way down to your teacher sent home comments about enrolling in happynumbers.com. I really suggest you check out some of these. A few are just games, but most of them have some good educational content. One of the things I did on here was I said check out live cams on YouTube. That was on day 16. Well, here is a list of different live animal webcams you can check out, from zoos to aquariums to there's even just an African watering hole that you can just check out. There's backyards, there's someone who has a hummingbird cam. There's all kinds of really good cams if your kids are interested in animals. Another thing I did on YouTube on day 6 was I talked about some of the videos your teachers use every day in class. And here I have a list of them. They do Macarena Months with Dr. Jean. You can look that up on YouTube. Days of the Week song with Martin and Rose Music. Excuse me. And these are the letter songs that your kids sing. There's a different one for every day of the week. In addition, I threw in things like Cosmic Kids Yoga, Storyline Online, Super Simple Songs, and Storybots A through Z with the K team. If you look up those on YouTube, you'll see a lot of things that are very familiar to your students. Now, if you look over here, you'll see, I've been doing this is my 5th week now. On the first week, we focused on the letter E, and then the letter M, and then the letter N, and last week was the letter V. I'm keeping these cards because at the end we can put a hole punch in them and put like a piece of string, a zip tie, something to join them all together. And maybe on the back, parents, if you have time, you can write down some of the things that the kids have been doing that week, and it will kind of be a stay-at-home memory book of the things that have been happening in your life. Put down birthdays, what Easter was like, anything you can remember about the weeks, and then we can put them all together and make a little tiny memory book. You'll notice that there's some funky looking art up here. I do try to throw in some art for the kids. Every Monday I do a craft that they can use. I've done edible Play-Doh. You can check that out on the first Monday video. I've done oobleck. I've made let's see, what else? We've done paper painting. Yesterday we made bouncing bubbles. And if you check out the video for bouncing bubbles, I didn't mention that the kids want to wear gloves. There's no oil on gloves, and there's oil in kids' hands, and that will pop the bubbles. So if the kids are wearing gloves, they can bounce the bubbles from hand to hand. So we try to do something just purely fun on Mondays. You're going to hear my dogs a lot. This is being filmed in my kitchen at home. I have 3 Chihuahuas. They're going to show up in the videos. The purpose is to give the kids some kind of structure. So I hope you enjoy the videos. I hope you check out the websites. And now we're going to get started on our regular day. Every day we're going to practice writing our letters and writing our numbers. Now the kids have a book at home or a book in the classroom where there's always a smiley face, and there's a song they sing with that smiley face that tells them where to begin writing the letters. So I always put one on. I made a whiteboard out of a 3-ring binder, and I stuck a piece of paper in it. It's as simple as that. On the paper I put the lines so I can reuse it over and over again, and I just clean it with a sock and whatever cleaner I have at home. Now, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to begin our W's. Just like yesterday, we're going to start at the top. We're going to make a diagonal all the way to the bottom, go up to the middle, down to the bottom, and back all the way up to the top. So we have a very big letter, the W. Try not to make it too thin, because then it gets squished and you can't see it clearly. Not my favorite. Try not to make it too wide. Remember, diagonal, up, down, diagonal. Diagonal, up, down, diagonal. Diagonal, up, down, diagonal. Now I try to do the number of the month, which in this case is 8. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 that I like so far. All the way down. Do not float it. Do not make it really small or make it really big. In the middle, you want the middle diagonals to stop at the dotted line. These are not my favorites. I'm not going to count them as part of my 8. And make sure your W does not float in the air. We always want our letters to connect with the bottom line, so I'm not going to count that one either. Up, down, and diagonal. Diagonal, up, down, and diagonal. So I got to count how many I have that are good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, I only have one more to do. Start at the top, go down to the bottom, up, down, and diagonal again. There's my 8th one. Now for our lowercase ones, we're going to put our happy face at the dotted line. And we're going to go from the dotted line down, back up to the dotted line, from the dotted line down, back up to the dotted line. It's like 2-letter V's right next door to each other. But we don't raise our pen or pencil when we do it. Down, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up. Make sure you're going all the way down to the bottom line. Make sure you're going to the dotted line. And make sure you are not going past. Ooh, we want to clean that one up a little bit. I can still keep that one. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I wonder how many I got on this line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, I'm going to try a couple without my dotted lines. Let's see if they still come out looking decent. There's 7 and 8. So I'm done with my W's for the day. But every Tuesday I try to get out a couple pieces of paper with, and parents, you're going to have to do this, a big printed letter on it. You can see I did capital W and little lowercase w. So what I try to do is have some fun with these. I'm going to turn the lowercase w to the side. Now I colored it in yellow just so you can see my W after I'm done coloring. You don't have to do that. I'm going to turn my W to the side because when I did that this morning, I instantly saw something that I had to do. I instantly saw a fish. So with a couple squiggly lines, I got a fish. And really, I just do this because some academics should purely be fun. I'm going to put a fin on it, a fin on it, a fin on it, and then I can spend some time coloring. Now, when I color, I sometimes use crayons, I sometimes use colored pencils, I sometimes use markers. I try to change it up. I've even been known to use nail polish for practicing letters just because I have lots of it and I'm not using it right now. So be creative in what you color with. But today I'm just going to use crayons. So let's see, I'm going to make my fins green. And I'm always telling kids, no scribble scrabble. Try to stay in the lines. And I know we as adults kid about that, but there's a point to it. The more you practice control with your hands, the more writing when they're older is going to be easier because they have proper hand-eye coordination. So even though we kid and joke about staying in the lines, I do tell the kids, you can color fast, but try not to scribble scrabble. Do your very best. So then I'm going to quickly, trying my best not to scribble scrabble myself, finish coloring in my fish. And there's my lowercase w. So every Tuesday we try to do something with the letters. Now for my capital W, I was looking at it and I decided it was just too small. I needed to make it bigger. So I'm going to tape 2 pieces of paper together and I'm going to get out my marker and I'm going to finish what I saw. Because I saw a rocket ship. And then I can have fun decorating it. I think I'll put a flag right here. Because our rocket ships usually have a flag somewhere on it. And then I can get out my crayons and do really cool jets coming out. And this is one where I can scribble scrabble a little because, you know, I'm trying to make flames come out of the bottom of the rocket. And there's probably a bunch of clouds with those flames. So I'm going to get out a gray crayon and do this. Try to have some fun with it. Let's see. We'll paint the nose a color, just purple because that's the color I grabbed. And we'll do the windows a color. Okay, let me do some stripes on my flag. There we go, and a little bit of blue inside the flag. I hope this is blue. Oh, that's my purple. I'll go back over it in blue. Oh, that's another purple. Anyway, have fun coloring and really just let them explore. There is my lowercase w and my capital W. We do this every Tuesday. Now the last thing Miss Doe has in the weekly happenings, because I try to follow the weekly happenings too, is she says we should be able to write our name and say the letters of our name. So I'm going to quickly clean off my board and I'm going to write my name and say the letters of my name. All right, so here I go. Let me grab a different colored marker. I think I'll go with violet. I'm going to write my name. I'm just going to write my first name. The kids call me Miss Mary, so I'm just going to write Mary. I have a capital M. Put one stick down, then we raise our pencil, diagonal, diagonal, and straight down. The A, the R, and the Y. Your kids practice in classroom frequently writing their names, not only on their worksheets, but with the teacher, with the parent aides, with anyone that can come in and grab a few minutes with them. Really have them work on writing their name. And I will tell you every Monday we write letters to our teachers, just telling them how we're doing. The teachers miss your kids so much. But Tuesday through Friday, we work on the calendar. So that's what we're going to be doing next. We're going to go over to our calendar. Well, today we are doing calendar because it's Tuesday. And I'm curious to know if anyone knows what month it is. I have my month up here. It's got a really cool rainbow and it starts with the letter A. A-P. A, and then I have an R. A-purr. Purr, P-R together makes a purr sound like a cat. A purr, I for the I, and ul for the L. A purr, ill. April. So it's the month of April, and we have to practice our days of the weeks. I heavily encourage that you do the days of the week songs on YouTube. Today I'm just going to say it. We have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the days of the week. Next, I usually do the pattern. And if you'll see, we have a lot of things up on this month already. We have a rainbow, an umbrella, and some raindrops. A rainbow, an umbrella, and some raindrops. Rainbow, umbrella, 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 something. But I don't know what it is. So let me take a moment for you guys to make your guess. Do you have your guess, Super Preppies? Okay, and now I will put up today's pattern. It is, you guessed it, raindrops. After that, we practice our numbers. Since we're on day 21, we're going to be counting all the way to 21. You ready, Preppies? I want to hear you too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We made it all the way to 21. Now, one thing we do in class a lot is we talk about yesterday, today, and tomorrow to give them a sense of time. So, ladies and gentlemen, today is the 21st, and I'm going to put my little cap right there for today. And if we look straight up, we'll see the day of the week it is. Today is Tuesday. So let me get my Tuesday sign out, and I'm going to put that right here in this pocket. Today is Tuesday. Yesterday was, well, remember, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday comes before today. So we have to look over here. Yesterday was this day right here. And if I follow it all the way up, I will see yesterday was Monday. So I'm going to grab my Monday card and stick Monday right here. Yesterday was Monday. Tomorrow will be, now I don't have something to stick my little hat on, so I'm just going to stick this right here. Tomorrow is what comes right after today. So let me put this here, and I'm going to follow this straight up. Tomorrow will be Wednesday. So let me get my Wednesday sign, and I know tomorrow will be Wednesday. Well, the next thing we're going to do is what we do every day. We're going to check the weather. So, ladies and gentlemen, go to your door. I'm going to come to my door, and let's take a look at the weather. Wow, you can see a beautiful blue sky and only one teeny tiny cloud in it. Come on back inside, and I'll show you our choices. Our choices for weather are sunny, partly cloudy, which means we have sun and clouds, rain, cloudy, windy, or snowy. Take a moment to decide what you think the weather is. You know, I'm going to go with sunny because it looks pretty sunny and blue out there right now. There's our calendar. Every day we read a story, and the second week I was doing this, I did a whole week of Three Little Pig stories. There were the Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig. There were the Three Little Cajun Pigs, the Three Little Hawaiian Pigs, all different versions of the Three Little Pigs. But one story I didn't get to read was the true story of the Three Little Pigs. Now, this is such a well-loved book in my house that I've lost the cover. So this is just our inside title page, The True Story of the Three Little Pigs by John Cieska and illustrated by Lane Smith. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheeps and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house of straw? So of course the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to walk into someone else's house, so I called, "Little pig, little pig, are you in?" No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar from my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed. And I sneezed, a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger, just lying right there. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar, so I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the bell in the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in?" He yelled back, "Go away, wolf! You can't come in! I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin." I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor, I had nothing to do with it. Now you know, food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a bit better. I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake, so I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in?" And do you know what that rude little porker answered? "Get out of here, wolf! Don't bother me again." Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack of sugar. And he wouldn't even give me one little cup from my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig! I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed and I sniffed and I sneezed once again. And the third little pig yelled, "And your old granny can sit on a pin." Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when someone talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. And the rest, they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the other two pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, so they jazzed up the whole story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down, and they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar? Well, every day for math, we do practice writing the number of the month. This number is 8, so let's get started. You're going to want to make sure that you have a curve that goes to the halfway mark, a backwards curve that goes to the bottom line, a curve that goes back up to the halfway mark, and a backwards curve that goes back up to the top. Now that's not my best because that's bigger than that. I want to practice a little more. Curve, 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 curve. It helps if you do it continuously. But ladies and gentlemen, you want to put 8 of your very best 8s on this paper. So, curve, curve, curve. Uh-oh, I have a floater. If it is floating above the line, it's not my best. I'm not going to count it. Curve, 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 curve. Oh, I'm liking that one. If you go too fast, then they get skinny. And this one's actually dipping below the line. Not my favorite. You want to go slow and carefully. Curve, 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 curve. You do not want to put 2 zeros. Even though it looks pretty good right there, it actually slows you down when you're writing. So you don't want to do the two bubbles. You want to do the curve, 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 curve. Curve, curve all the way down to the bottom line, curve all the way back up to the top line. Curve, and this happens a lot I've noticed with kids. They tend to go so fast that one, it's floating, and two, they've squished their top line. So ladies and gentlemen, when you're making your 8, make sure you take your time and you learn to do it correctly. Make your best 8s. And when you have all 8 8s, and I think I have all 8 8s now, you can have someone in your family, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, older brother, older sister that are home, you can have them circle their favorite 8. So my son is going to circle his favorite 8s. Oh, he chose the last one on that row. That's a good one. And I just want to count to make sure I had 8 8s that are good. I don't like that one, so I'm not going to count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, excuse me, 6, 7, 8. I had 8 8s. And today on Tuesdays, I tried to show 8 8s with something in my house. So over here on the kitchen counter, I have found 2 collections of things, and we're going to count and make sure that there's 8. You should be looking in your house for 8 things too that you can show your family. So my first is I like to paint rocks. So I picked out some painted rocks from my garden, and I'm going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 rocks. And the next thing isn't really a toy or a craft, but it's something that I use every day. Hair bands. So I'm going to count my hair bands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and my favorite, 8, because it's got flamingos on it. So I came up with 2 collections of 8 objects. I challenge you to go through your house, collect 8 of something, and count it out to someone in your family. Well, today I know in science you guys have been studying insects. So in the past we've made ladybugs, and I made those with apples and paint. We like dipped the apples into the paint. Today we're going to make a dragonfly. My cameraman will show us our dragonfly. And to do this dragonfly, you will need some cardboard, 2 paper plates. I have some Q-tips for the legs, glue and scissors. You can use black construction paper for the eyes, or even googly eyes if you have them. I didn't have either when I was making them. So I just grabbed an index card and I colored 2 circles black and used them for the eyes. Let's see, what else do you need? I have some crayons and some markers to color the body. And then I had some fun. I got out some nail polish and just made a bunch of squiggles with the nail polish too. Kids love trying something new. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is find some cardboard. This is an old quartz gallon storage Ziploc baggie box that I just got out of the recycle bin. And if you don't have this, you can use paper. I try to use stuff that I know you can find at home. You're going to want to let the kids color it first before you cut it. So they can cut it, they can color anything. Dragonflies are usually, they have this iridescent greenish blue hue to them. So I tried to include some of that. You can even color the face brown if you want. Now, I try to tell them no scribble scrabble. We do want this to be neat. Always take pride in what they're doing. Okay, and I'm not going to sit here and color the whole thing, but I will show you that, you know, by using crayons and using, oh, there's some purple, and using markers, they're going to get more out of it because they're using different objects at different times. Once this is colored in completely, I added, after I had all the colors in, I added some shimmery stuff. I put some white dots on, and then I put some green nail polish over that just to kind of make it pop and stand out, and the kids can have fun with that. This isn't nail polish I ever plan on using again. I'm sure you've got a couple bottles you can throw in. If not, you can use paints. And then I put in some blue, just, you know, just to let the kids try different things. Okay, I'm not going to be coloring the whole thing, but this gives you a general idea. Once you have done that, and you may even want to let it dry, you're going to want the kids, and they should be able to with regular scissors. I'm using these because they were the only ones I could find this morning. You're going to want them to cut out a strip as long as you can, because the dragonfly body is generally very long. Now, my paper plates, we're going to be cutting those too. Cutting is a real important skill for preschoolers, works on their hand strength, which helps them with writing later on. So they're definitely going to be want to be the ones doing the cutting. You may have to draw for them where you want them to cut. You just want to cut out a pie-sized slice. I'm going to do another one right here. It doesn't have to be perfect. These will make the wings look more dragonfly-like. So you draw the pie slice, you have the kids cut. It's no worries if they're not perfect. That's why we practice. So once you cut these out, or have the kids cut those out, you're going to then glue the whole thing together. So you want the dragonfly wings to be apart from each other. Okay, and I'm even going to draw a line here because I know it's going to be apart for this one because it's so wide. You may even want to put it down so you can gauge how wide it should be. I'm going to draw a straight line here and a straight line here, or straightish, and then I'm going to ask the kids to put glue down. Kids, we always tell you, dot, dot, not a lot. So I'm going to put down some dots, not too much. Now the plate is curved, and when you put this cardboard down, it is not going to stick. You are going to need to hold it down. What a great opportunity to practice counting. Preppy K'ers, I want you to count to 20. 1, 2, all the while holding down your dragonfly. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, this definitely isn't going to hold forever, but you can see it actually does hold a little bit for now just by counting and putting pressure down. At this point, you can use the googly eyes, the white paint. I'm going to use my white nail polish for the eyeballs. Get a big circle going here and a big circle going here. I want to let that sit for a second, and while that's sitting, I'm going to have my preschooler cut or draw with a good black marker on both sides of this so I get a good black eyeball when I'm done. And then have them, this might be hard because it's so small, but have them try to cut out an eyeball. Remember, kids, baby bites, baby bites, baby bites, baby bites, and turn when you cut. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. You can see mine is not, but I have my eyeballs. I'm going to stick them in my nail polish, and then my nail polish acts like a glue. So I got my ladybug looking pretty good. Oh, the one thing I did not tell you about is that you're going to need pipe cleaners. If you don't have pipe cleaners, you can use extra Q-tips, and you can just glue them to the top like this. That'll work just fine. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do for mine. And then each insect has 6 legs. Not spiders. Spiders have 8. They're not insects. And so I wanted to be sure to include 3 legs on each side of the body. And you can have your kids glue these down. I looked it up. Insects' legs are really close to their heads. So you want them at the top, not in the middle or the bottom. And for this, because they are so heavy, I would let your heavy gluers have a field day and put a big puddle of glue and lay the 3 Q-tips on each side in there and then let it dry. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side and let it dry. Now, for the pipe cleaners, it was real easy. I just taped the pipe cleaners on the back of the bug head. And I think I might end up doing that with these guys as well. Obviously, these are going to have to dry where they are, but I think I'm going to take some tape and I'm going to tape these antennas on the back of the head, just like this. This is a good skill for the little ones too. You cut the tape, you have them practice putting the tape on. This does not all have to be done at once. You can let the legs dry and then put the eyes and the antennas on later for final touches. If you have an artist who really likes to draw, they can draw the pretty lines that almost look like leaves on the dragonfly wings. They can add more detail if they want. I'm just going to do these really quick. And in the end, you'll have a great dragonfly. Now, the last thing I do every day is I give a website. I have a really long list of good websites, and today I'm going to suggest, I know it sounds silly, but Facebook. And the reason why is because it's the only place I've been able to catch this concert. Daily, Monday through Friday, the Laurie Berkner Band at 7 a.m., I know it's early, but you can watch it later in the day, they have been hosting a sing-along. Your kids know Laurie Berkner. Most of the Preppy K classrooms have a spreadsheet of songs, and one of the songs they sing is We Are the Dinosaurs by Laurie Berkner. So even if you're not familiar with her, she is a wonderful children's singer. Way back when my son was little, we actually went to one of her concerts in Long Beach. She tours the country. She got her start on Nick Jr. She is amazing. So I'm going to recommend you go to Facebook and you search for the Laurie Berkner Band. Look for her live concerts Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Your kids and you will not be disappointed. She is a great singer. That's all for today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Happy Tuesday.